Hi Gemini, welcome to May. This is Teresa from Tarot by T, and if you're celebrating a birthday, happy birthday. So this month, on May 1st, Pluto goes retrograde right until October. On May 5th, we have a full moon eclipse in Scorpio. On May 7th, Venus moves into Cancer. On May 16th, Mercury, your ruling planet, moves direct. And then Jupiter moves into Taurus. And then on the 19th, we have a new moon in Taurus. May 20th, Mars moves into Leo. And on the 21st, the sun moves into your sign. Happy birthday. So we'll get to the astrology later. Let's see what Gemini needs to know about love and relationships for the month of May 2023. What is coming up for Gemini this month, May 2023, in terms of love and relationships? What is happening? What does Gemini need to know? What does Gemini need to know about love and relationships for May 2023? Okay, let's see what we get. The Devil, the Seven of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles, the Two of Cups, the Four of Swords, the Four of Cups, the Three of Cups, the Six of Pentacles, the Nine of Swords, and the Temperance card, and the card at the bottom of the deck is the Eight of Cups. Okay, interesting. So you start the month off with the Devil energy. You could be dealing with someone. The Devil is a card of, it has a lot of, it could be a card of desire, where you have a strong attraction to someone, but it can also represent an unhealthy attachment, like a codependent kind of attachment, where you have strong feelings for each other, but there's some toxic elements. Either it could be a codependent thing, or you're in love with someone who has some kind of a drinking or drug problem, or you could just be addicted to the relationship. It may not even be, for some of you, it's just that there are strong feelings. The Devil can also represent fear. Maybe you're involved with someone and you feel really strongly about that person, and you're afraid of losing yourself in the relationship because your feelings are so intense. The main thing is that you feel like if you get too deep, you won't be able to get out. Or you try to make things, like you might be involved with someone and that you try to break free from, and then you always get drawn back in. That could be another scenario. So there's a very intense connection in your life with the Devil, when the Devil shows up. The Seven of Pentacles crosses this energy. So this could be, you've planted, I feel like you've started a relationship, but you're wondering what the future is. Like, is this going to work out? Because you may feel that there are some dysfunctional things about the relationship, and you're wondering, I don't know if this has a future. I don't know how things are going to play out in the future. And I feel like on some level, you're looking for security in a relationship. You want someone that you can have and hold, and someone who to be there for you, to make you feel safe, kind of. I mean, you have all these fours in the reading. The fours represent stability, security. And that's what you're looking for in love. With the Four of Pentacles in the past, this sometimes can come up when one of the people is being too controlling. So if it's either you or the other person, someone's trying to control the outcome, and if it's you, you need to just relax and just go with the flow. If it's meant to be, it's going to happen. You can't control the outcome. You can't control another person. The only person you can control is you and your response or your reaction to things. So maybe let go, release a little bit. If it's the other person, it's possible that one of you is looking for financial security through a relationship or some type of security. Because usually the pentacles represent money, but sometimes they could represent a feeling of security. What do I need to feel safe? And you're looking for someone to connect with that makes you feel safe. But it could also be, for some people, because this is a general reading into it, that you feel like through partnership, between the two of you, you'll have more financial security. Like, you may feel like, I can't do it on my own. I need this other person to help me feel more financially secure. And so you're willing to put up with things that maybe you shouldn't put up with because you're afraid to go it alone because of financial reasons. You have the Two of Cups here, so there's a strong connection. I mean, I feel like the Two of Cups is like a soulmate connection. So you are connecting with someone that you feel like you have a good friendship, you have a good way of relating, but I feel like there are still some toxic elements to the relationship, where one person is overly dependent on the other, one person is too controlling. The feelings between the two of you are too intense. There could be a lot of drama in the relationship. So there are some red flags that you have to deal with. And it could be as a result of fear. Fear could be driving all of this. Fear of getting too involved, fear of getting hurt, fear of losing your identity or yourself in the relationship. The other thing is the Eight of Cups here. I feel like at some point you might be thinking of moving on. The Eight of Cups is about leaving something, like walking away from something that was once good in search of something better, in search of something like that's maybe a better fit. Right now, though, with the Four of Swords and coming up in the future, I feel that you may have taken a break from each other. And with the Six of Pentacles in the reading, this is in your environment, I feel that there may be an imbalance in the give and take. One of you might be giving more than the other. You may feel like, I'm doing all the work, I'm not getting enough back in return. Or it could be your partner that feels that way, that they're doing all the work and you're not giving enough. So there's some imbalance. Maybe one person's always paying for everything. One person's always taking the initiative, making the plans. I feel like the more controlling partner is the one that's driving the relationship. So maybe there needs to be more, and I'm going to tell you, with the Temperance card, there needs to be more balance in the relationship. It's a little bit lopsided. You have the Four of Cups in the near future. This is a card of someone who's bored, who's feeling undervalued, not appreciated. This could be you feeling like, I don't think this person cares. You may feel like the person doesn't care or is not really there for you. That you're doing all the work, you're, putting up with all this stuff, and you're not getting enough back. I'm feeling that. So if it's not you, it could be the other person feeling that way. And so the Four is a card of discontent and boredom, not feeling valued, and thinking, maybe I should, if you've been struggling with someone for a while, maybe you're thinking, maybe I should look and see what else is out there. You might be having thoughts about moving on. I don't know that you're actually going to do it yet, but you may be thinking about it. Excuse me. The pollen count has been really high lately, and I'm just gagging. Okay. Because the Four is, someone is offering you love, but you're not sure if it's right for you. Like, you're not accepting the love. Someone is not taking, like, the love offer is coming here with the cups. Cup is coming out of the cloud. So you may have an option where someone is saying, hey, I care about you, I want to be with you, and you're like, I don't know if this person's really right for me. You're afraid to accept that love. Maybe it's you that has the fear of connecting on a deep level. You're afraid of losing yourself in the relationship, or you recognize that the relationship has some problems, and you're not sure what to do. So right now, I feel like you're in this limbo stage With the Three of Cups in your negative thinking sector, this could be parties and celebration, but there's also a third party element to the Three of Cups. Doesn't mean cheating in all cases. In some cases it could. Like there could have been some type of third party situation that came between the two of you. I feel like maybe one of you is definitely a control freak and needs to be less controlling. So if it's not you, it's the other person. The third party, it's almost like there's a third person that's interfering in the connection somehow. But the Three of Cups in the positive sense is parties, celebrations, getting together with friends, but it's in your negative thinking sector. So maybe someone is inviting you out, saying, hey, let's get together, let's try to work things out, but you're having doubts about the future because of the problems that you're seeing. You have the Nine of Swords in your wish fulfillment sector. That's like a card of mental stress and worry. Sometimes it could even be guilt. So if you have been involved in a third-party situation, you might be feeling guilty about it. And you're worried about the future. Like, I don't know, how do I overcome this? I don't know what to do. Like, I feel like you're in this like state of I'm not sure what I want. I'm not sure if this is right for me. And you're not making a decision. The Temperance card, though, is a card of finding the balance between two people. It's learning how to compromise, learning how to see things from another person's perspective. So if you're having issues, because a relationship, what is a relationship? It's relating, right? Two people, I have my needs, you have your needs. It can't always be my way, it can't always be your way. Let's see where we can meet in the middle. Let's try and create a win-win. So you may have to, if you want to make this relationship a success, if you want to try and fix some of the problems, there has to be some type of compromise. There has to be balance, because I feel like with the Temperance, you have a lot of compatibility because you have the Two of Cups here, but you're also very different people. And you go about, you kind of see the world in different ways, or you react in different ways. So it's like you have to understand each other. Like you may say, okay, when this situation comes up, I would react this way. But your partner may react in a different way. And it's like you can't understand each other. And so you need to sit down and really talk. You really need to sit down and be vulnerable, not be afraid of being vulnerable. And talk about your fears, talk about your concerns, and try to work something out where you're both getting your needs met in some way, where it's not one person getting their way and the other person feeling like resentful because they're not getting anything. So I feel like the theme this month is finding that balance. If you can do that, I feel that you have a chance to fix the relationship. As a matter of fact, the Temperance card is the Archangel Michael card. It also relates to the sign Aquarius. But I feel like you're getting spiritual guidance, like you're feeling called to go in a certain direction. So follow that call. Whatever your little voice inside is telling you. And some of you, it may be telling you I need to move on. For others, it may be I need to compromise. So only you can know which is, like, everyone will have a different situation. But with fours in the reading, you have 3 4s. That you have the foundation for stability. You just have to overcome this devil energy. Sometimes the devil can mean ego, where you want your way and my way and there ain't no highway. And you have to drop your ego a little bit, become more vulnerable. Realize, like, I can't always get my way. I can't always have it my way. If it's not you, it's the other person. Tone down some of the, talk about your concerns. Talk about your fears. Deal with your fears. What am I afraid of? Why is it am I afraid to commit? Am I afraid to get more involved? Because I feel like with the Two of Cups, there is a strong connection here. But I also, with the Three of Cups, I feel like too many people might be interfering in the relationship. Maybe you're listening to too many people's advice, and they're telling you, do this, do that, the other thing. Maybe you need to take some time out, because the Four of Swords is about taking time out away from each other, where you can just heal and think, what do I really need to do? What's the best thing for me? What's the best thing for this relationship? Stop listening to everybody's advice. Listen to your advice. Listen to your inner voice. And that will lead you in the right direction to make the right decision. So let's see, and don't then stop feeling guilty and stop worrying over things that may not happen. I mean, if you did something that you need to apologize for, apologize. If you did something that you're not proud of, then fess up and, fix it. Make amends. But don't stress yourself. Don't worry over things that may not even happen. So let's see what the angels have to say. What do the angels want you to know? Okay. Rainbow. Okay, rainbow. You are a jewel, even though you may not see it. Even in the darkest times, you shine eternally bright. You are surrounded by an aura of love, and a pot of gold waits beyond the horizon. All will clear soon. Trust and continue to follow your dreams. You are eternally blessed. So I feel that, you've got this Archangel Michael card in the reading. You're being divinely guided and protected. So instead of listening to everybody else's opinion about what you should do, what you shouldn't do, take time out and meditate and listen to your heart. Follow your heart. You can't go wrong. Listen to that inner voice, and whatever that's telling you, follow that. So let's see what the astrology has to say for Gemini. So we have this full moon eclipse. This is a lunar eclipse on May 5th, and that's in your 6th house. So it's in your work sector. There could be, you have the moon in the 6th, the sun in the 12th. It's your 6th, it's your house of work. 6 is the house of your day-to-day conditions at work, the people you work with, your colleagues. Not so much your career path, it's more of your day-to-day work environment. And the 12th house has to do with things that are hidden, psychological issues, hospitals, prisons, areas of confinement, hidden enemies. So I feel like at this full moon, you're going to see who's on Team Gemini. Yeah, something is going to be revealed at this full moon. And a lunar eclipse can sometimes eclipse a female figure from your life. Now for you, I feel like this eclipse is going to be more work-related than relationship-related. Right, it's trine Mars in the 2nd house. And in the 12th house, you have the sun with Mercury, which is retrograding, and and Uranus. So surprise messages are going to come out at this full moon eclipse. You may learn something that you didn't know about. Something that was hidden may come out. So if you have anyone that's been working against you, or anybody, if there are any secrets, because the 12th house represents secrets, things that are hidden, they're going to come to the surface, and you're going to realize certain things. I feel like this is more about a work relationship. But also the 12th house has to do with psychological blocks. So you may realize, hey, you know what? Maybe I've been acting, maybe I need to change my behavior. Maybe you're going to see something in yourself that you need to change. How have I been sabotaging myself? Because Mercury conjunct Uranus, at some point it's retrograding now. When it goes direct, it's going to hit Uranus. And you're going to have some brilliant idea come out of, it's going to be inspired coming out of the 12th house. So right now, I feel like you need to communicate. You need to talk about what's bothering you. Mercury's the planet of thought, communication. So if there's something bothering you at a psychological level, for some of you, you need to talk about it with someone. Maybe see a counselor or a therapist. And you might get some insight at the full moon. You might see into the problem. Like, okay, now I see what the problem is. And Mars is in your 4th house. Your 2nd house, I'm sorry. It's going to help you to take action because Mars is trining this. It's trining the moon and the sun. Well, it's actually sextile the sun, but it's trining the moon. So you want Mars to be in a positive aspect to this full moon because it means that whatever action you take, it's going to give you the courage to take action. And what is the 2nd house? The 2nd house has to do with security, self-esteem, self-worth. What do I value? Mars is going to show you what's important. So maybe if you've been valuing the wrong things, Mars is going to show you. Or you're going to fight for what you want. You're going to fight for what you value. And if you have to work on your self-esteem, if you've been feeling insecure, Mars is giving you the courage to speak up and to go after what you really want. You also have the North Node in the 12th house, and that's in Taurus, but it's conjunct Jupiter in Aries, which is in the 11th house. Jupiter's getting ready to move into Taurus, so it's at the 27th degree. So it's so close to the North Node that they consider it a conjunction. It's called an out-of-sign conjunction. So Mercury is at 8 degrees, the North Node is at 3, and so these three planets, Mercury and Jupiter, are conjunct the North Node. So there's opportunity coming. It may be working behind the scenes. There might be talks or discussions going on behind the scenes at this time. But the North Node is telling you it's the direction you need to go in. And you need to get yourself in a secure place. So you may be working on some project behind the scenes that's going to lead to security. It's also, I feel like, if there's a psychological component, if there's anything that's hidden, that's been blocking you, it's all going to come out now with this full moon. And, eclipses, things could happen suddenly where you suddenly feel like, I have to take action. One way or another, you're taking action. And you may not be ready for the action you need to take. But once you see the truth, you can't unsee it. So, and Jupiter is so close. When it moves into the 12th, it's going to, you're going to have a benefactor. You have someone now, because Jupiter in the 11th house is bringing you luck and opportunity to the groups that you belong to, the people that you deal with, friendships. You have someone who's in your corner, who's on your side. And they're going to be working to help you. You have Saturn. Saturn is in the 10th house. So you're in a position of authority. You're taking on more responsibility, being recognized for your career. And Saturn is sextile the North Node in the 12th. So, but you also have Neptune there. So there could be some deception or illusion. With Neptune in the 10th, you're either working in a career that's serving others, or you're working in something that's very creative. But with Saturn there, you're seeing the truth. You're seeing the reality. You're willing to do the work. You're taking on more responsibility. But with a sextile aspect, you have to take action. So it's time for you to take action in your career and to get yourself in a position of authority. Venus is in the 1st house. Venus is in Gemini, has been in Gemini. She's getting ready to move into Taurus. But for now, you're like the epitome of charm, and you're attracting love, and everybody thinks that you're very charming. When Venus crosses your ascendant, which it just probably recently did in April, it could bring new romance in your life, or it could bring, you're just feeling good about yourself. So Venus brings, you're looking more attractive, you're attracting love when Venus is there. But Venus is squaring Neptune in the 10th. So that you want to make sure that you're seeing things realistically, that you're not seeing what you want to see. You have to look at reality. Don't sugarcoat anything. If someone comes to you at this time, if there's like a new romance, you may be idealizing someone. Wait a while before you commit, especially with Mercury retrograde, because you want to see the person. You want to make sure you're seeing reality, that you're seeing people for who they really are, that you're not just getting caught up in the fantasy. Now, if you're doing something creative, Venus and Neptune connections can make you come up with all kinds of beautiful art and music. Neptune works better when it comes to creativity, but anything else, it can bring deception and illusion. So just be aware of that. And Venus is sextile Jupiter in your in the 11th house. So I feel like friendships are important right now. Groups are coming together. You might find your soul tribe, people that you really resonate with at this time. And they're going to bring you, you're going to be branching out into new areas. You might be connecting with people that expose you to different things you've never experienced before. Jupiter is squaring Pluto in the 9th. So with Pluto in the 9th has to do with law, higher education, teaching, learning, travel. You may have a hard time expressing your beliefs or being communicating with people at this time. And if there's there could be some kind of legal issue you may have to work out. So don't take on more than you can handle. Keep your schedule light, because sometimes with Jupiter, you're overly optimistic, like you think, oh, I can do no wrong. I'm going to win this thing. And you don't want to get all your ducks in a row. Make sure that whatever you're doing, you've got all your bases covered. You also have Chiron in the 11th house. And that's the wounded healer. So maybe have some healing to do with some of your friendships and the groups that you belong to. Maybe it's triggering. There could be a trigger, something that's triggering wounds that you may need to deal with. But for the most part, I think you're going to see, I think that at this point, and Chiron is actually it's making an aspect. It's connecting with Uranus, but not it's a minor aspect. But I feel like there are going to be some surprises at this full moon. Some things that were hidden, some things you weren't aware of are going to come to the surface. So that could be, the ancients called the 12th house the house of hidden enemies. You're going to see who's been working against me. But I also believe that the 12th house is how we work against ourselves. And so if you've been doing things that are sabotaging your success, you're going to see that too. So if you have any psychological issues that you need to work out, you're going to see that as well. But the positive thing is Venus sextile Jupiter. That's going to bring opportunity for love and money. Mercury sextile Saturn, conjunct the North Node. You're going to be finding your true path, and you're going to be going toward that. Whatever you're moving toward is going to bring more security and stability to your life. Mars sextile Uranus. Sudden opportunities, and you're going to be ready to take action, especially with Mars in your second. Sudden opportunity to make more money. That's going to bring in more financial security. Okay, so then we have this new moon in Taurus, and where's that falling? In your 12th house. So if you've been working on, if you realize at the full moon, now I see what I need to work on. Now you have an opportunity to have a new beginning. So if you have any psychological issues that you're dealing with, this gives you an opportunity to start working on them in a positive way. Because you have the moon, it's a new beginning with Uranus. So surprises. This is a month of things will be revealed. Surprises will come out of nowhere. But they will be positive because you also have Mars sextile this new moon. And Mars is going to help you to have the courage to work on these issues so that they're no longer sabotaging you. So if you've been sabotaging your success, if there's any kind of psychological thing that where you've been working, everybody could see your blind spot but you're going to see it and start working on it. This gives you a blessing to start a new path. If there's anyone, and if it's not a psychological issue, but there are actual people working against you, you're going to see that too. But that's also positive because you're going to be able to take action. Now you have to be careful because Mars is opposing Pluto this month at the new moon. And Pluto is bringing intense energy. There could be some power struggles. You want to make sure you're not too overreactive. Don't come on too strong. Don't be a bully. You may have to fight against a bully or a powerful group of people because Pluto represents power. So you're going to be dealing with power at this new moon. So you want to wield your power carefully. Don't be reactive. Just respond, but don't react. Don't be out of control. Don't, have an angry outburst because Pluto opposite Mars can be intense. And especially with Neptune in the 10th house, there could be some deception. Like there's a lot you're not seeing. There's deception and illusion. So you want to make sure that you're hitting the right target, that you're not attacking someone with this mistaken identity, thinking like, oh, well, that person's my enemy, I'm going to attack them. It may be a misunderstanding or miscommunication. Just be aware of deception, not only in others, but in your own perceptions, in the way you're looking at people. So Venus is moving into the second house. At this point, Venus moved into Taurus. So Venus, when she moves into Taurus, is bringing money. Brings money, brings love. You're going to feel good about yourself. And Venus is trining Saturn. So there could be some career success. If you're starting a new job, it's going to, bring in more money. Or you're going to feel more secure in your position, in your career. And you might be Saturn is sextile Mercury. And at this point, Jupiter has moved into Taurus in the 12th house. So there could be some negotiations going on behind the scenes because it's all happening in the 12th house. So one thing I want to mention before I end, Mars is creating, you have a positive trine and you have a You have Venus trining Saturn and sextiling Uranus. So that's going to bring whatever you're starting right now is going to be in place for a long time. And it could be a sudden opportunity that comes up. And it's going to bring abundance. It could be something that comes out of the blue. Because Uranus, you never know what Uranus is going to bring in. But because Saturn is in your 10th house, it could be career related. And it's going to bring in money because Venus is now in your 2nd house. Mars is opposing Pluto. So if you have a conflict with someone, it's also squaring Jupiter. Jupiter is squaring Mars and Pluto. Just make sure you don't go over the top on anything because Jupiter can ramp things up. So there could be a big blowout. You want to be in control. Don't overreact. Don't overrespond. Don't lose your temper. Try to stay calm. Try to respond. Don't react. Take your time. Count to 10 before you respond to an email, or count to 10 and calm down before you respond, because there could be a big blowout with Mars opposite Pluto, and especially there could be some legal situation. Something could come out of nowhere because Jupiter's in the 12th, and it may take you by surprise. So you want to be prepared. I don't want to scare you. I'm not trying to scare you. It's just that when Mars is opposing Pluto, you could be very reactive. So I want warn you not to be reactive. You can handle whatever comes your way, and I think you're going to come out of it fine. But just to be warned that the emotions are going to be volatile. The emotions are going to be, high energy. You're going to want to respond. You're going to want revenge. You're going to want to be angry. Don't do that. Stay calm. Count to 10. Respond with logic and intelligence, not with emotion, because Mars is in Cancer, and it's not really comfortable in Cancer. So usually when you respond, like a Mars in Cancer response would be a over-the-top, not well thought out, rather than a courageous response. And sometimes with Mars in Cancer, you may feel like you're having to defend someone else. A lot of times Mars is very nurturing and protective in Cancer. So you're fighting for someone else. You're not even fighting for you. You're fighting for someone else. But you're dealing with Pluto. Pluto is power. The power to destroy. The power to transform. So it's like dealing with a nuclear warhead. You want to just handle it with care. That's all I'm saying. But I think you're going to come out on top. You've got Saturn in the 10th. This is a time for you to stand up and show your leadership abilities and show how when you're a leader, you come across all kinds of challenges. You're going to have a challenge, but if you handle it in the right way, you can come out on top and you can be successful, and it's going to lead to a greater reward. So just remember, balance. Don't let your emotions get the better of you. Balance your emotions. Try to go for the win-win, not the win-lose, or not the my way and there ain't no highway approach. If you follow that, you'll be fine. So that's my forecast, Gemini, for this month. If you like this reading, if you resonated with it, please click on the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment. I love reading all the comments. If you'd like a private reading, because this is a general reading, it may not apply to everyone, click on the link in the description box. It'll take you to my website, and we can get you scheduled. In the meantime, have a wonderful May. Happy birthday if you're celebrating. And much success and love to you. And I will talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.